Hello everyone, it's Laura from Divine Light Yoga, and today I'm talking about non-contact games and mindfulness activities that are perfect for social distancing. So at the moment we have schools opening up, lots of you kids yoga teachers are starting to go back into studios, going back into schools, after school activities, yoga in the park. Which is absolutely wonderful that children are now able to access yoga in person. But obviously we need to be very careful. So things like human mandalas, partner yoga, contact games are at the moment, we're not able to access those. So I've had a couple of questions come in because it can feel difficult to tap into that creativity if you've been teaching online or not teaching at all for the last few months. So I've got a few different ideas of games for you. So in addition to things like mindfulness walks that you can take them on, especially if you're out in the park, mandala art meditations, or any kind of art meditation is a beautiful mindfulness activity that you can do that doesn't involve contact. Obviously, chanting, yes, they're probably going to have their masks on, but still chanting together with some of that body percussion is great. But how about for the poses and the games? So some really simple ones, Simon says, but instead Yogi says. So for those of you that are not familiar with Simon Says, it is so simple and doesn't really require many guidelines, so it's great for all age groups. It's literally, Yogi says, go into tree pose. Yogi says, lie down on your belly. Yogi says, downward facing dog. And the children literally just do as Yogi says. If you don't say Yogi says, then the children must stay still in the position that they're in. So it's super simple, but it's really fun. Accessible for those three-year-olds, 4-year-olds, up to the 10-year-olds. So it's great across the ages. So we have Simon Says, or as I like to call it, Yogi Says. We can do an obstacle course that does not involve any props, obviously, as well as the non-contact, and the wearing of masks. We probably are not going to be able to use props and definitely not able to share props just to keep all of the children safe. But we can still do an obstacle course, and it doesn't even require mats. So they literally don't have to share or touch anything that any of the other children have had contact with. So you can set up stations. You can literally just have like a coloured object to allocate where in the room or in the park are the stations. And on each station you could place a card, whether it be a picture card for the younger children or an actual instruction of some kind for the older children of what to do during that station time. So they spend 1 minute at each station and then they move on to the next station. So you can just ring a little bell and then they move on to the next station. So everybody is moving around the different stations, but it doesn't involve any props, any physical contact, and it's all very safe. So some ideas of what you could do in each station. It could be in one station they do flower breathing. In another station they could do moving from downward facing dog to plank. And another station they could see how many frog jumps they can do from one side of the station to the other side of the station in their minute. Another one they could do moon salutations. Okay, so it can be, if you've got children who are brand new to yoga, you can keep the activities at each station really nice and simple. If they're coming back, if they're returning to your yoga class, then you can go over things like the sun salutations, your breath of joy, your fire breathing, your lion's pose, just to kind of recap. And again, it's just a really fun way to introduce new poses and breathing techniques to make it fun, but it's still non-contact. They're all doing it together, they're all doing it at the same time, and it's just like a nice surprise, like what's going to be at the next station for them. So that's the second one that I wanted to share. And then the third one is human mandalas. So typically we are in physical contact when we run human mandalas. So for this, it's just engaging their imagination. So you're still moving together in a circle, and you can get them to imagine or visualize that they are all connected by energy or by light or by a superpower, whatever it is that feels comfortable for you or is appropriate for the groups of children that you're working with. So imagining that they are all connected by an invisible string or an invisible light, so that they all have to work and cooperate to move together simultaneously. So they're all moving together in this human mandala flow that you're creating. They're not physically in contact, but they are in contact in that they are moving at the same time. You're energetically connected and connected by this invisible string that goes all around the circle. And then the last one that I wanted to share with you, I've got all my little notes here just to remind me, was a yoga story that they can do on their own mats. So you can tell a story or create a story. It can be really simple. I do like to bring in stories that have some sort of meaning or lesson or moral for the children to learn, whether it's about emotions or about releasing anxiety or something connected to yoga philosophy. So you can create a story, and for each element of the story, they do a different pose. As an example, one that I really like to use is if you tell a story about walking through the forest. It might be that you're going through the forest, you felt really nervous because you were going by yourself, you saw lots of different animals, and at the end you had a picnic or you went camping. Something super simple. And you released all the anxiety that you had and realised that you were very brave. So you can tell the story, and you can give them 5 poses. So every time that they hear you say the word forest, they all go into tree pose. Every time they hear you say the word fox, then they go into their fox pose. So you can just give them like 5 poses to do. And you can be really playful with this, so getting them to move through the poses a lot, so you can overemphasize those words. You can say, you know, oh, I was going through the forest and I was nervous about seeing a fox, but as I was walking through the forest and thinking about the fox, so that they're moving from their tree pose to their fox pose, their tree pose to their fox pose. So it is a fun way to introduce new poses or recap on poses that you've already introduced in your class. But also it really enhances their listening skills, because they always want to be, of course, the first one to recognize that you've said that word and move into the pose. So it involves movement, it enhances their concentration, they're all doing it together, so it is very playful even though there's no contact. And it does enhance their ability to really listen carefully and be aware of what you're saying and how they're moving their body. So they are 4 very simple but very fun and engaging ways that you can help your 3 to 10-year-olds have a really fun, imaginative but also meaningful yoga class by using games such as Yogi Says, also known as Simon Says, human mandalas connected by an invisible string or an invisible light, a yoga story where they move from pose to pose as you tell the story, or obstacle courses that do not involve any props. It's just using your creative imagination to think about what you can have in those, what poses, what breathing techniques, what dynamic movements you can have as they move around that obstacle course from station to station. So those are a great way to bring a community together, to get them to create friendships without having to be physically in contact. And obviously if you like these ideas and you want a little bit more, then take a look at the rest of my videos on my YouTube channel, or on my website. I have lots of free resources and articles. I have a free lesson plan on there, which is adapted to online learning as well as in-person learning, so you can definitely use it as non-contact. So you can find that, I'll post a link below, but you can actually find that on my website, which is divine-light-yoga.com/blog. So you'll be able to find all my free resources, all my video advice on there. And also I have my Mindful Teachers membership. So if it's starting to get a little bit overwhelming for you to create all of these lesson plans and come up with ideas and find the time, find the creativity to actually put together plans for your lessons, especially during this time when there's a lot going on and there's a lot of considerations with not using props and having non-contact activities, then you might enjoy my Mindful Teachers membership, in which I write the lesson plans and provide all of the resources that you would need, and meditation scripts, all theme-based, all creative, for children aged 3 to 7, and then again 8 to 11. And that also comes with some workshops and Q&A sessions as well. So I'll put the link below this video so you can check out all my free resources and check out my Mindful Teachers membership if it's something that you're interested in. So I'm seeing all of these lovely comments. Thank you so much, Christine. Christine, I'm glad to see you here, since you are the one that actually sparked this video blog. I do hope that you have an amazing class this afternoon in the park, and I hope that you can use some of these ideas for your little ones that you're going to be teaching. Let us know how your class goes. I'd be very interested to see how it all goes for you. And hello everybody else. Oh, we got Marianne joining. Oh, hello, Lily and Dana. Lovely to see you all here live. All right, well, I will speak to some of you very soon, if not all of you very soon. And if you have any other really cool activities or games that are non-contact that you've used in your classes recently, please do comment below, because it's really nice to share your ideas and resources with the rest of our community. And I will speak to you all soon. Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.